Alrighty, guys. Y'all see that? 169,000 miles. You also see that light? Yes, that is the dreaded check engine light. Now, the other shop where Cousin Pookie work at, they failed this customer. Alright, this customer, boy, this Jeep slipped all the way in here. That's the complaint. The transmission slipping. Now, here's where that lazy shop screwed up at. Alright, they automatically assume, now this looked fairly good, right? For 2011, got a lot of miles, but it looked fairly good. They automatically assume this was one of those transmissions that's dipstickless. ZF, the ZF rear wheel drive transmission. You know, you can't check the fluid in those. Well, not all Jeeps are like that, guys. Alright, this is a 2011 model. Alright, there's a chance this Jeep is either equipped with a 545 or a NAG 1. In this case, it's a NAG 1. And also, in this case, it's a dipstick tube. You hear what I say? Tube. The difference between a tube and a dipstick. Alright, this setup here will require a special tool to check the transmission fluid. So you can, in fact, check transmission fluid on this year model Jeep. What else y'all notice? Y'all hear that? It's ticking. Alright, now I wouldn't have it running if I had not already checked the oil. So before you start a car, crank the car, verify that there's oil in it. But let's get to the bottom of why this transmission in here and why this transmission slipping. Alright, what I have here is a transmission dipstick tube. Alright, now aftermarket company make these. I just so happen to have the one the dealer sent out a long time ago. Alright, when they first started doing these dipstickless cars. Now, what I'm going to do with this tube is simple. I'm going to put it in the dipstick tube and try to get a feel for how much transmission fluid in here. Remember, guys, your transmission will slip if it has no fluid in it. Alright, yeah. Now, if you have no fluid in it, that's a whole nother problem within itself. But we don't know none of this until we find out. So, let's get this special tool down here. Remember, the car is running in park and it's at operating temperature. That is the best time to check automatic transmission fluid. So we're going to send this all the way down there to the bottom till you hear and feel. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the bottom. Now, let's pull this thing out. And what we will find is, ta-da! Nothing. Let's flip it on the other side. Y'all see that? Nothing. This thing has no fluid in it. Now, what you're supposed to do after you verify there's nothing in it, you're supposed to let it up and look around. All right, that's what we're gonna do. In fact, first, let me turn this thing off. Alrighty. Now let's take a look around. Yes, in fact, it is a NAG 1 transmission. So because I have no transmission fluid showing on the dipstick, we need to see why. All right, chances are there's a leak, because transmission fluid don't technically just evaporate away. Now, one of the main areas you need to look at is the if you don't see anything, first look at the transmission real good. Anything that will house transmission fluid. All right, this is a transfer case. It has transmission fluid in it within itself. Okay, so you should be servicing this, by the way. But I don't see no transmission fluid around this, and this has nothing to do with the transmission as far as fluid level. All right, I don't see transmission around the pan or anything else. So we follow all the trails of what the transmission fluid leads to. Y'all see those cooler lines? Those cooler lines that's coming from the transmission has fluid in it. We're getting warm. Y'all see all this fluid right here? Ladies and gentlemen, that could be transmission fluid. All right, now let's let it down, take a real good look at this condenser. Yes, that's right, guys, the AC condenser. You know why we need to look at that? Because the transmission cooler is built inside of the AC condenser. So if it's leaking, you will have fluid around the AC condenser. All right, let's take a look. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop it right there, because what I want to do is look inside of this grill area. Oh, it's hard for y'all to see, but I can see all that black stuff right there. That is dirty transmission fluid. Let me see if I can get a sneak view in here. Oh, okay, guys, we got an AC condenser transmission cooler leaking. No, the transmission cooler is not external. It's housed, built inside of the AC condenser. So that explains why we have no transmission fluid in the transmission, and that explains why the transmission is slipping. Now let's take a look at one more thing. All right, I got the computer pulled up. Now you can see all these yellow in these boxes. The only thing we're concerned with is the PCM and the TCM. You notice there's a TCM. You know why? Because again, this is a NAG1 transmission. All the NAG1 has their own separate module, usually hidden above the steering wheel somewhere. Let's see what's inside the PCM. Okay, we got some DTC. Oh, they got bigger problems, guys. See these cat efficiency code, charging system, output. I'm gonna take a look at that alternator, but for now let's go to the TCM. I see this DTC P0730 incorrect gear ratio. Guys, this code will set every time there's a slippage in the transmission by way of low fluid level. That's right, low fluid level would definitely cause that code. Now here's my suggestion, or what I'm gonna advise the customer. We need to replace this AC condenser. Now I always have a hard time trying to sell an AC condenser for a transmission complaint. Think about that for a second. The customer came in, hey, my transmission's slipping, and you get them a call back and tell them they need an AC condenser. Could you imagine the confusion that causes? Yes, it causes a lot of confusion. That's why I like to sell my own jobs, because I can explain it better. There's nothing like a advisor that can explain things the way the technicians see it. All right, they may get on there and say, yes sir, we found out your problem and you need an AC condenser, and boom, there go the confusion. Oh, y'all shop trying to rip me off. There's nothing wrong with my AC. Why are you telling me I need AC? I didn't say I had AC problem. I said I had transmission problem. Well sir, the mechanic said you need an AC condenser. Yeah, see, that can ruin a relationship and destroy an image. And everybody in YouTube world know I am overprotected of my image. All right, I try to protect my image at all costs. So this may be one that I make the phone call and explain it this way. Yes sir, your transmission is in fact slipping. That is because you are low on fluid. When that happens, sir, your transmission get confused and don't know which gear to go into. So it would throw several codes, in this case P0730. All right, so, oh my goodness, I don't know where I left off at. I got interrupted, but here's the way I would explain this. Excuse me, Mr. Customer. You do in fact have transmission problems, but it's because you have a leak. All right, now, the reason you have a leak is because your transmission cooler, which is built inside of the AC condenser, has ruptured. Okay, when that happens, you would get external leak outside of the condenser. Now, hear me out for a second. The only way to repair that is to replace the condenser. So it's all about communication and explanation. If you can get those on point, the customer will understand. They will have no problem with getting it fixed. Okay, so, but I'm gonna go a step further. I'm gonna sell this guy a transmission service. It's an NAG1. You can drop the pan. There's a filter in there. In fact, I recommend doing that every 60,000 miles. So I'm gonna recommend servicing the transmission and replacing the cooler to fix the transmission issue. I gotta look over some other things to find out if there's anything else wrong with it. But all we're doing right now per this video is zoning in on the transmission issue. All right, guys, that's all I have. I'm gonna end this video because I gotta look the rest of this over. Hope you got something out of this. I gotta go. Thanks for watching.